Welcome to Timed Essay Advice. This is advice from your professor on how to do well on the timed essay. Well, the main question you have when you're doing a timed essay is how can you reach the end of your essay in the time given? In our case, that's 100 minutes for this particular essay, but in your college career, I'm sure you'll be asked to write many timed essays on final exams and things. You could have anywhere from a half an hour to 3 hours. So I can't tell you how many points to always use, but here's the important thing. Number 1, prepare the right number of points. If you can only do 2 well in the time given, only do 2. If you have time for 3, prepare 3. Okay, this is partly about you knowing how fast you write. The second piece of main advice is to spend lots of time preparing. We're assuming here that you have the topic of the essay given to you beforehand and sources like textbooks, or English books that you can look in. So spend lots of time preparing. Have your thesis and your topic sentences written out. When I give timed essays, I let people bring in the sheet of paper. Even if you're not allowed to bring it in, writing them out will help you do it faster during the timed essay. Then underline or highlight the 2 quotations per paragraph that you will use in the paragraphs that will prove your main points. So you want to have your quotations ready. Remember that if you are quoting some more than 2 lines, your quote is too long. We want the paragraph to be mostly made up of your thoughts and your analysis, with just some quotations for backup, so we don't want huge paragraph-long quotations. So you should plan on 2 quotations per paragraph, and you should have them underlined, highlighted, however marked, so that you can find them quickly during the essay. And number 3 is you can drop the least important ideal paper writing elements if you're pressed for time. So which things can you drop? If you have to, here's a few things you can drop. You can drop the general intro to the topic. You can just start with your thesis. You can get right to the point. We're talking about the hook here, okay? If you're pressed for time, you can drop it. It's not essential to the real meat of the essay. You can drop transitions between ideas because transitions are hard and they take time to think of, okay? And if you have to, you drop something new in the conclusion, and you do a very basic conclusion that just repeats kind of the thesis and the main points. Of course, we would love to have these things in your timed essay, but if you're out of time, or you write slowly and you're going to be rushed the whole time, these are the things that you can drop without really damaging the essay. And of course, these are the things you can never drop. You can never drop having a thesis, which the whole paper hinges on. You can never drop having some brief introduction, topic sentences, so we know what your main points are and what you're going to prove, short quotes and analysis that prove those points, and some kind of short conclusion. Now, I made this presentation after doing an experiment with a group of students in which I gave them a timed essay, and then I asked them to reflect in a journal on what they would do differently the next time when they did the final timed essay. And I got the same responses over and over. So here is the real essence of those responses. Students told me, I'll spend more time preparing. I'll write out my main points, not just my thesis. I'll focus on less points with more evidence. That was from people especially who didn't get to a conclusion in their essay. And I'll leave a little time at the end for editing. That would be definitely ideal if you could go back and proofread. Okay. So I'm hoping that you can learn from the experience of my other students, which is how I created this whole slideshow. based on their feedback about what they would do differently on a second chance, since this is your first timed essay. Okay, and so thank you for listening, and I think you're all going to write wonderful, wonderful things.